Do you know anything about Charles Bronson beyond him being a talented actor with a rugged physique and features as chiseled as granite? Don't just focus on his success, as Charles's little-known tragic life will make you care about him even more. Life challenged Charles early on, planting obstacles along his path until his death. Without keeping you waiting any longer, let's start the video to learn about what Charles Bronson had to endure throughout his life. Charles Denis Buczynski, later known as Charles Bronson, was in a large Roman Catholic family of Lithuanian descent. He was the 11th of 15 children, born to Walter Buczynski, Valteris P. Buczynskis, a Lipka Tatar from Druskininkai in southern Lithuania, and Mary Valinsky, who hailed from the coal mining town of Tamaqua, Pennsylvania. The Buczynski family resided in the coal region of the Allegheny Mountains, north of Johnstown, Pennsylvania. Growing up in a household that primarily spoke Lithuanian, Bronson did not learn English at home during his early years. This was a common experience among the children in his community. Even as a soldier, his accent was so pronounced that it led his comrades to believe he was a foreigner. In addition to English, he was fluent in Lithuanian, Russian, and Greek, showcasing the multilingual environment in which he was raised. In a 1973 interview, Bronson reflected on his relationship with his father, expressing uncertainty about whether he loved or hated him. He revealed that his memories of his father were limited, recalling that whenever his mother announced his father's imminent return home, the children would hide. Tragically, in 1933, Bronson's father passed away, prompting the young Charles to enter the workforce. His initial job involved working in the coal mines, initially in the mining office and later underground. Bronson's early experiences in the mines were challenging, and he earned a meager income. He remembered earning only $1 for each ton of coal he mined, emphasizing the harsh conditions and low wages prevalent in the coal mining industry at the time. In one interview, he mentioned working double shifts just to earn a modest weekly income of $1. Recalling the dangerous nature of his work, Bronson described how he and his brother engaged in removing stumps between the mines, a perilous task that often led to cave-ins. The difficult and hazardous conditions of coal mining not only shaped Bronson's work ethic, but also contributed to his tough and resilient demeanor, characteristics that would later become synonymous with his on-screen persona in the film industry. Charles Bronson's early life was marked by profound poverty, exacerbated by the hardships of the Great Depression. The economic challenges were so severe that the family often went hungry, leaving a lasting impact on Bronson's memories. There were instances when his mother couldn't afford milk for his younger sister, forcing her to be fed warm tea as a substitute. The family's financial struggles reached such extremes that, at times, Bronson had to wear his sister's dress to school due to a lack of proper clothing. Despite these hardships, Bronson remained resilient and determined. Remarkably, he became the first member of his family to graduate from high school, a significant achievement given the difficult circumstances. Following his high school graduation, Bronson entered the coal mines to contribute to the family income. However, the outbreak of World War II prompted him to shift his focus to serving his country. In 1943, he enlisted in the United States Army Air Forces. His military service took him to the 760th Flexible Gunnery Training Squadron, and later, in 1945, he served as a Boeing B-29 Superfortress aerial gunner with the 61st Bombardment Squadron, based in Guam and part of the 39th Bombardment Group. This group played a crucial role in conducting combat missions against the Japanese home islands. Bronson's wartime experiences were intense, and he flew a total of 25 missions, showcasing his dedication and bravery. Unfortunately, his service came at a cost, as he sustained wounds in battle that earned him the Purple Heart, a prestigious military decoration awarded for injuries received in combat. After the conclusion of World War II, Charles Bronson transitioned from odd jobs to the world of theater. His journey into acting began when a theatrical group in Philadelphia hired him to paint scenery, marking his entry into the performing arts. This initial involvement in theater paved the way for Bronson to step into minor acting roles. During this period, he shared an apartment in New York City with Jack Klugman, an aspiring actor at the time. This living arrangement reflected the challenges and camaraderie experienced by struggling actors pursuing their dreams. Eventually, Bronson decided to make the move to Hollywood, where he sought to refine his craft by enrolling in acting classes at the prestigious Pasadena Playhouse. Charles Bronson's journey in life and the entertainment industry was marked by early deprivation and struggles that left lasting scars. Despite achieving fame and success, he carried the weight of his past, as highlighted in a 1973 newspaper profile. The profile painted a picture of a man who, despite his on-screen toughness, was plagued by shyness and introversion to the extent that he could not bring himself to watch his own films. The scars of early poverty and the challenges of breaking into the acting world contributed to a complex and guarded personality. Described as still suspicious and holding grudges, Bronson maintained a deep-seated bitterness about the time it took for him to be recognized in the United States. Even after attaining fame, he harbored resentment and refused to work with a notable director who had snubbed him years earlier, illustrating the enduring impact of past slights. Critics and those who interacted with Bronson noted his reluctance to share personal information or elaborate on his work. Renowned critic Roger Ebert, in a 1974 assessment, observed that Bronson did not volunteer information, lacked elaborate explanations, and had no theories about his films. Ebert also pointed out that Bronson's demeanor in person seemed to mirror the on-screen violence he portrayed. Unlike other actors who projected violence on film, Bronson's off-screen presence conveyed a sense of real intensity and, at times, a potential for aggression. Ebert's account further detailed a personal encounter where Bronson threatened to get Time magazine critic Jay Cox. This threat stemmed from a negative review that Bronson perceived as a personal attack. The incident highlighted Bronson's intense reaction to criticism and added a layer of complexity to his public image. Charles Bronson's personal life was characterized by two significant marriages, each contributing to different chapters in his life. His first marriage was to Harriet Tendler, whom he met in Philadelphia while they were both aspiring actors. They crossed paths at a Philadelphia acting school in 1947 when she was 18 years old, and he was 26. Despite coming from different backgrounds, she, the daughter of a successful Jewish dairy farmer, and he, a Catholic and former coal miner, Tendler and Bronson pursued their acting dreams together. Tendler supported the couple financially during their early years, showcasing her commitment to their shared aspirations. On their first date, Bronson reportedly had only 4 cents in his pocket. Despite these humble beginnings, he would later transform into Charles Bronson, one of the highest-paid actors in the country. The couple had 2 children, Suzanne and Tony, before divorcing in 1965. Following his divorce from Tendler, Charles Bronson entered into his second and perhaps most well-known marriage with English actress Jill Ireland. They tied the knot on October 5, 1968, and remained married until her death in 1990. The couple first met in 1962 when Ireland was married to Scottish actor David McCallum. Reportedly, during that time, Bronson, who shared the screen with McCallum in The Great Escape, told him, "I'm going to marry your wife." The Bronsons resided in a Grand Bel Air mansion in Los Angeles and had a total of 7 children, 2 from Bronson's previous marriage, 3 from Ireland's previous marriage, including 1 adopted child, and 2 of their own, Zuleika and Katrina, the latter of whom was also adopted. Following their marriage, Ireland frequently played the leading lady in Bronson's films, and the couple starred in a total of 15 films together. Charles Bronson and Jill Ireland were dedicated to maintaining a close-knit family despite the demands of Bronson's acting career. To achieve this, they adopted a unique lifestyle. Whenever Bronson was filming, the entire family would load up and accompany him to the film location. This approach allowed them to stay together as a family, fostering a strong sense of unity. The family enjoyed spending time at a colonial farmhouse situated on 260 acres in West Windsor, Vermont. In this picturesque setting, Ireland pursued her passion for horses, and she provided training for their daughter Zuleika, enabling her to excel in horse showing at higher levels. This not only showcased the family's commitment to shared interests, but also emphasized the importance of creating a rich and fulfilling environment for their children. During the 1980s and early 1990s, the Bronson family made Snowmass, Colorado, a regular destination for winter holidays. This practice further underscored their commitment to family bonding and creating lasting memories together. Tragically, on May 18, 1990, Jill Ireland passed away at the age of 54 after a prolonged battle with breast cancer. Her death occurred at their home in Malibu, California. This marked a profound loss for Charles Bronson, and he faced the challenge of navigating life without his longtime partner and leading lady. In 1991, a television film titled Reason for Living the Jill Ireland Story portrayed the life and struggles of Jill Ireland, with actor Lance Henriksen taking on the role of Charles Bronson. After Jill Ireland's passing, Charles Bronson entered into his third marriage. In December 1998, he married Kim Weeks, an actress and former employee of Dove Audio who had assisted in the production of Ireland's audiobooks. Their union lasted for 5 years until Bronson's death in 2003. Representing another chapter in the actor's personal life, marked by both loss and new beginnings. At the age of 81, Charles Bronson passed away on August 30, 2003, at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles. Despite mentions of pneumonia and Alzheimer's as potential causes of death, neither were officially listed on his death certificate. Instead, the document attributed his passing to respiratory failure and metastatic lung cancer, with secondary factors including chronic obstructive pulmonary disease and congestive cardiomyopathy. His final resting place is at Brownsville Cemetery in West Windsor, Vermont. Bronson's on-screen persona was a unique blend of rugged toughness and unyielding determination. He portrayed characters who were unafraid to confront danger head-on, embodying the archetype of the fearless, no-nonsense tough guy. This image seamlessly extended into his off-screen life, where Charles Bronson was perceived as a man who did not shy away from holding a grudge. One of the notable figures against whom Bronson harbored a long-standing grudge was none other than actor James Garner. The two shared the screen in the classic action film The Great Escape, a cinematic masterpiece that showcased their talents and cemented their places in the pantheon of Hollywood greats. However, behind the scenes, a simmering tension existed between the two actors. The roots of their animosity can be traced back to undisclosed conflicts during the production of The Great Escape. While the film itself became a milestone in both their careers, the personal dynamics between Bronson and Garner were far from harmonious. The reasons behind Bronson's grudge remained veiled in mystery, with speculations ranging from creative disagreements to personal differences. Despite their shared success in creating a cinematic masterpiece, the relationship between Bronson and Garner remained strained throughout their careers. Bronson's reputation as a man who held onto grievances added an intriguing layer to the narrative of his life, further fueling the mystique surrounding the legendary actor. Released in 1963, The Great Escape stands as a cinematic masterpiece within the action war film genre, widely acknowledged as one of the best of its kind during that era. At the helm of this remarkable production was the legendary action star Steve McQueen, whose magnetic presence on screen catapulted him to stardom. The film, however, wasn't solely a showcase for McQueen's talents. It also boasted a stellar ensemble cast, featuring the emerging talents of Charles Bronson and James Garner. Steve McQueen's portrayal of Captain Virgil Hiltz, the Cooler King, remains iconic and is often regarded as one of his most memorable performances. His charismatic presence and on-screen charisma set the tone for the film, elevating it to new heights. Despite McQueen's undisputed star power, The Great Escape was far from a one-man show, thanks to the exceptional performances of its supporting cast. Charles Bronson and James Garner, both on the cusp of burgeoning stardom, played crucial roles in the ensemble. While they might not have attained the same level of recognition as McQueen at that juncture, their talents were unmistakable, foreshadowing the illustrious careers that awaited them. The film served as a pivotal point in their respective trajectories, propelling them toward the status of Hollywood legends. However, behind the scenes, the camaraderie on the set of The Great Escape was not as seamless as it appeared on screen. Charles Bronson and James Garner, despite their shared goal of contributing to the success of the film, struggled to get along. The reasons for their discord remained largely undisclosed, shrouded in the mystique of Hollywood's behind-the-scenes dynamics. The tension between Bronson and Garner adds a layer of complexity to the legacy of The Great Escape. While the film itself is celebrated for its gripping narrative and stellar performances, the interpersonal conflicts among its cast members hint at the intricate dynamics that often unfold during the making of cinematic classics. The inability of these two talented actors to find common ground on set serves as a reminder that even within the realm of collaborative art, personal differences and clashes can shape the narrative both on and off the screen. The animosity between Charles Bronson and James Garner on the set of The Great Escape left a lasting imprint on their professional relationship, a rift that persisted for decades and became a noteworthy chapter in Hollywood lore. The strained dynamic between the two actors was so palpable that James Garner, even years after the film's release, continued to share harrowing tales about the production, turning it into a saga of discord and tension. It wasn't until after Charles Bronson's passing in the early 2000s that James Garner seized the opportunity to shed more light on the tumultuous relationship in his autobiography. The autobiography became a platform for Garner to candidly express his grievances and frustrations with Bronson, painting a vivid picture of the onset tensions that had long been simmering beneath the surface. Within the pages of his autobiography, James Garner recounted a series of negative anecdotes about Charles Bronson, offering readers a glimpse into the turbulent times during the filming of The Great Escape. The stories hinted at clashes of personalities, creative differences, or perhaps unresolved issues that fueled the discord between the two actors. Garner's decision to share these experiences posthumously added a layer of complexity to the narrative surrounding the film and its cast. Interestingly, Garner's autobiography not only delved into his strained relationship with Charles Bronson, but also revealed purported issues with another iconic figure from the film, Steve McQueen. Despite being good friends with McQueen, Garner allegedly faced challenges with the legendary Cooler King on set. The autobiography hinted at McQueen's egotistical demeanor, providing a nuanced perspective on the interpersonal dynamics within the cast. Intriguingly, despite the reported issues with McQueen, James Garner's friendship with the iconic star eventually prevailed. Garner, over time, found it within himself to forgive McQueen for any perceived egotism or clashes during the production of The Great Escape. This evolution in their relationship showcased the resilience and complexity of personal dynamics within the competitive and intense environment of filmmaking. The dynamics on the set of The Great Escape were undoubtedly influenced by the contrasting egotistical demeanors of its two prominent stars, Steve McQueen and Charles Bronson. Steve McQueen's egotism, while present, was often perceived as a byproduct of his deep commitment to his role as Captain Virgil Hiltz, the Cooler King. As the film's undisputed star, McQueen's intense dedication and ego were intertwined, contributing significantly to the success of the movie. McQueen's egotistical demeanor emanated from a place of genuine passion and commitment to his craft. Recognizing the pivotal role he played in the film's narrative, he approached his character with a level of seriousness that bordered on perfectionism. This attitude, while demanding, was ultimately an integral component in shaping the film's success. McQueen's dedication and commitment to his role elevated The Great Escape to new heights and solidified his status as a Hollywood icon. On the other hand, Charles Bronson's egotistical demeanor presented a different narrative. While Bronson was undoubtedly a formidable presence in the entertainment industry during the filming of The Great Escape, he was not the film's primary star. The dissonance arose from the perception that his egotism was disproportionate to his role in the film. Unlike McQueen, Bronson's attitude seemed less rooted in a commitment to the craft and more in a desire to assert dominance on the set. Bronson's determination to be the biggest personality on the film's set, despite not holding the lead role, created tensions that hindered the production rather than enhancing it. His egotism appeared uncalled for and, at times, counterproductive as it clashed with the collaborative nature of filmmaking. This departure from the collaborative spirit may have contributed to the reported discord and strained relationships with co-stars, notably James Garner. Unlike McQueen, whose egotism was channeled into a focused dedication to his role, Bronson's approach seemed more self-serving, potentially stemming from a desire for recognition and prominence. This divergence in attitude not only highlighted the complexities of managing multiple strong personalities on a film set, but also underscored the delicate balance required for a collaborative endeavor, like filmmaking. The intricate dynamics on the set of The Great Escape unfolded as a tapestry woven with the contrasting personalities of its stars, Steve McQueen and Charles Bronson, as revealed by James Garner. While McQueen's growing ego might have posed a minor challenge, it paled in comparison to the alleged horror of Charles Bronson's belligerent behavior, which persisted throughout the entire production of the film. James Garner's account painted a vivid picture of the tumultuous atmosphere created by Bronson's demeanor on set. Unlike McQueen, whose egotism was described as a manageable nuisance, Bronson's belligerence seemed to cast a shadow over the entire filmmaking process. The film, despite the reported challenges, emerged as a big success, a testament to the resilience and professionalism of the cast and crew. The Great Escape, a 1963 war film directed by John Sturges, chronicled the daring attempts of a group of soldiers to escape from a German POW camp during World War II. The film, with its gripping narrative and stellar performances, has since become a classic in cinematic history, enduring the test of time. Charles Bronson, prior to his role in The Great Escape, had gained recognition for his appearance in the 1960 Western film The Magnificent Seven. The film, which featured an ensemble cast of iconic actors, including Steve McQueen, marked a significant point in Bronson's career, showcasing his versatility as an actor. Meanwhile, James Garner, renowned for his charismatic portrayal of the titular character in the hit television series Maverick, brought his own brand of charm and talent to The Great Escape. Garner's on-screen presence added depth to the ensemble cast, contributing to the film's overall success. The behind-the-scenes challenges faced by the cast, particularly the reported conflicts between Bronson and his co-stars, highlighted the intricate dynamics of filmmaking. The fact that the film overcame these challenges to achieve acclaim and lasting success underscored the professionalism and dedication of those involved. In retrospect, the legacy of The Great Escape is not only defined by its compelling narrative, but also by the resilience of its cast in the face of on-set challenges. The film's enduring status as a classic is a testament to the collective efforts of Steve McQueen, Charles Bronson, James Garner, and the entire team involved in bringing this wartime tale to life on the silver screen. James Garner, Having been the star of Maverick, arguably held a higher status in the industry compared to Charles Bronson at the time of filming The Great Escape. This difference in stature might have triggered a defensive stance from Bronson, potentially making him feel like the least experienced and least valuable member of the ensemble cast. To compensate for this perceived discrepancy, Bronson seemingly amplified his tough guy demeanor to the maximum while working on the film. The decision to intensify his tough guy image could have been a strategy to assert his presence and relevance within the cast. However, rather than fostering camaraderie, this approach seemed to have the opposite effect. The heightened tough guy persona might have contributed to Charles Bronson's struggles in building positive relationships with his co-stars. James Garner's posthumous revelations painted a damning picture of Charles Bronson's behavior on set. According to Garner, Bronson was not only tough, but mean-spirited, someone who purportedly took pleasure in using and abusing people. This revelation added another layer to the narrative of discord and tension during the production of The Great Escape. The reported grudge between James Garner and Charles Bronson, formed over the course of the film's production, persisted for the rest of their lives. The friction between the two actors hinted at deep-seated issues that transcended the challenges of making a single film, leaving an indelible mark on their professional relationship. The discord between James Garner and Charles Bronson during the filming of The Great Escape spilled over into an unexpected and tense poker game at James Garner's house, revealing another layer of the strained relationship between the two actors. This incident, recounted by Garner himself, sheds light on the intensity of the animosity that had developed during and after the film's production. The poker game took place shortly after the completion of The Great Escape, and the decision to invite Charles Bronson to James Garner's house for a friendly game was, in hindsight, an unusual choice given their reported negative experiences on set. The reasons behind the invitation remain unclear, but it turned out to be a decision that Garner didn't repeat. During the poker game, tension escalated when Charles Bronson allegedly attempted to pull out one of his bets after it was already too late. The move, if successful, would have negatively impacted another player in the game, a young stagehand who, by comparison, was much less affluent than the seasoned film star. Garner, not willing to let Bronson bend the rules, insisted that he adhere to the established rules of the game and pay out to the young man. This standoff over the poker game escalated the existing tension between Garner and Bronson. Charles, compelled to comply with the rules, reluctantly paid the young stagehand the $50 he owed him. However, the incident served as the spark that ignited an explosive confrontation between the two actors. Charles Bronson, reportedly furious at being forced to play by the rules, unleashed his anger, and the situation nearly devolved into a physical altercation. The near-fist fight at James Garner's house encapsulated the depth of the animosity between the two actors. It underscored the volatility of their relationship, with the poker game serving as a microcosm of the larger issues that had plagued them during and after the filming of The Great Escape. James Garner, deeply affected by the combined negative experiences, found it challenging to look at Charles Bronson the same way again. The animosity fueled by the poker game and the strained dynamics during the film's production lingered, creating an enduring barrier between the two actors. The result was a mutual grudge that influenced their interactions and professional choices in the years to come. Charles Bronson, adamant about not working with James Garner again, held on to his vow, effectively avoiding collaborations with the actor. The promise was upheld, showcasing the depth of the resentment Bronson harbored towards Garner. The rift became a defining element in both their careers, marking a chapter of professional relationships soured by personal conflicts. Despite the deliberate avoidance of working together, fate had other plans. Several years later, James Garner and Charles Bronson found themselves in an unexpected encounter while out with their respective wives. Garner, accompanied by his wife Lois Clark, and Bronson, accompanied by his wife Jill Ireland, crossed paths, leading to an unplanned dinner together. During the dinner, an ironic twist unfolded. While Lois and Jill conversed amicably, bonding over shared interests, the strained relationship between James and Charles became palpable. The two actors, who had once shared the screen and experienced the highs and lows of the entertainment industry together, found themselves gritting their teeth through the meal. The awkwardness and unresolved tensions between them remained, a testament to the enduring impact of their tumultuous history. Following the tumultuous experience of The Great Escape, Charles Bronson's career took an unexpected turn, propelling him to greater fame than ever before. His breakthrough came with the lead role in the 1968 Western film Once Upon a Time in the West, directed by the legendary Sergio Leone. This marked a pivotal moment in Bronson's career, as he became synonymous with the rugged, stoic characters of the Western genre. Interestingly, Sergio Leone had previously sought Charles Bronson for roles in his iconic Dollars trilogy, which eventually catapulted Clint Eastwood to stardom. Bronson, however, had turned down those roles, inadvertently passing up the opportunity that made Eastwood an international sensation. When The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly was in production, Sergio Leone once again approached Charles Bronson, attempting to cast him in a significant role that eventually went to Lee Van Cleef. Despite these initial missed opportunities, fate finally aligned for Bronson and Leone with Once Upon a Time in the West. This collaboration proved to be a cinematic triumph, showcasing Bronson's prowess in the Western genre and solidifying his status as a versatile leading man. The success of Once Upon a Time in the West laid the groundwork for Charles Bronson's ascent to Hollywood superstardom in the 1970s. The pinnacle of his career came with the 1974 film Death Wish, a gritty urban vigilante drama that resonated with audiences and catapulted Bronson to the status of a verified Hollywood megastar. In 1974, Charles Bronson took on the iconic role of Paul Kersey in the film Death Wish, a character who became synonymous with vigilantism and a relentless pursuit of justice. Paul Kersey, as portrayed by Bronson, was a man who knew how to hold a grudge, but unlike his on-screen persona, the reasons for Bronson's earlier grudges with fellow actors were perhaps less justified. Death Wish proved to be a major success, resonating with audiences and critics alike. The film followed Paul Kersey, an architect turned vigilante, seeking revenge for the brutal assault on his wife and daughter. The gritty portrayal of urban violence and the moral complexities surrounding vigilantism struck a chord with viewers, making it a cultural phenomenon of the 1970s. The success of Death Wish didn't just end with one film. It paved the way for a franchise, marking a significant chapter in Charles Bronson's career. Over the ensuing 2 decades, Bronson reprised the role of Paul Kersey in a total of 5 Death Wish pictures. The sequels included Death Wish 2, 1982, Death Wish 3, 1985, Death Wish 4, The Crackdown, 1987, and finally, Death Wish 5, The Face of Death, 1994. While the original Death Wish had been both a critical and commercial hit, the sequels took a different trajectory. As the series progressed, the subsequent films received increasingly dismal reviews from critics. Despite the diminishing critical reception, the Death Wish franchise maintained a dedicated fan base, drawn to the intense action sequences and the enduring appeal of Charles Bronson's portrayal of Paul Kersey. What do you think about the tragic life of Charles Bronson? Leave us your comments in the section below. We hope you have found this helpful video. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you like it. Thank you for watching this and see you in the next videos. Goodbye.